What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be explaining why women want you to be dominant. Why are women attracted to sexually dominant men? I'm going to break this down from a biological level and just on a sexual level as well, because there's something about a dominant man that satiates a woman's deepest, darkest fantasies. And I'm going to share four things that you can do to start being that guy, start being that person if this is something that you struggled with in the past. So this video is really for the nice guys that have fallen into some level of people-pleasing patterns and have a difficult time asserting themselves with women, disagreeing with women, saying no to women, leading in their relationships. And maybe that's because on some level, you've had an overprotective mother throughout your life that overstepped, micromanaged your identity and authenticity, told you who you can and cannot be. And that really stifled your relationship to yourself and your relationship to these other dominant traits of your masculinity and your raw primal power. Or you're like me and you had a little bit of that, but you also had a very domineering father figure that quite literally beat this out of you. And now, as a man, you're learning how to bring these parts of yourself back online. This is really for those guys that have struggled with this and can hear themselves and their patterns and their challenges in what I just shared. So let's just jump right in. So why do women want you to be dominant? Well, when you think about a dominant man, part of the desire for a dominant man is because anytime a woman connects with you, whether it's on a date, whether she responds to your stories, whether she, hearts back on your story reply, or, pursues an intimate relationship with you, or even marries you, it is a biological risk for her. Women have a higher biological risk that they take when they're interacting with us, when they're contemplating pursuing a relationship with us. So there is a mortality rate of women that die from birth. It's a very small percentage, but it does happen. That's a risk. She could die from giving birth to your child. You could kill her. If you are not a safe, healthy man, you could kill her. As a man, you are her natural born predator. Just given based on the context of our society and culture, let's acknowledge that. It's not how nature designed it. It's just how man has now created it. You are physically bigger than her. You are physically stronger than her. You could kill her. The third thing is that you could die. You could be killed. And then she's left with the children. She's left without a protector, a provider, and a leader. This could happen at the worst of times, where she's pregnant, or she has 3 children, and now she has to now be the man or find a man that's willing to now take on this responsibility of her 3 children because you are no longer there. There's all of these risks involved with just investing in this relationship with you. So she has to make sure that on an evolutionary basis, you are highly intelligent, you are capable of leading her and your family through tough times, and you have an ability to dominate. The ability to dominate means that if any threat comes between you, her, and your family, you are capable of handling and confronting that threat. This threat also means other men. Can you protect her from the possibility of men coming in as a form of danger to her, yourself, or your family? When you think about it that way, it makes sense why a nice guy isn't really attractive to a woman. Because You cannot defend yourself against other men. You are afraid to step up and be bold and to tell her no. Then how do you interact with other men? Are you passive? Are you weak? Do you allow other men to dominate you? That is not a safe situation for a woman to walk into because it provides no sense of security. In the case where she has your children, how are you going to protect her? How are you going to protect her offspring? So just from that standpoint, a biological evolutionary basis, she's thinking about her offspring. She's thinking about all these different scenarios, right? She's going to naturally look for the most intelligent man, the most strong and capable leader, a man that's physically stronger than her, a man that's capable of being a threat to other men, whether that's physically in his stature, or that's intellectually, or that's through his resources, whatever it is, she's going to look for the most competent and capable man. So now let's get into these sexual desires. Now, women have very, very dark fantasies, very, very dark desires. I honestly think that they're much darker than men's sexual desires and fantasies. Because when you think about what I just shared, she wants the most dominant, strong, capable man and leader. Because if you're dominant, then that opens up a whole new world of sexual experiences that she can have with you. And those sexual experiences are rooted in sexual polarity. Sexual polarity means that the difference between your energetic makeup and the difference between her energetic makeup. So if, as a man, you're more dominant, that puts her in a position to be more receptive to you. If you're constantly penetrating her with your presence, with your leadership, with your direction, that puts her in a space to follow that direction, to yield to that leadership, to be receptive to your insight, your wisdom, your resources. This is the polarity. Now, if she's dominant and you're more submissive, that is polarity, but that might not be a polarity for a heterosexual couple that creates and maintains the spark of attraction and sexual intimacy and fire. For most women that are in relationships where they're more dominant than their man, than their partner, that relationship is a sexless relationship. If there is sex, it's happening out of obligation, not genuine desire. And in that relationship, those men do not feel respected. They do not feel seen. They do not feel appreciated. And they feel psychologically dominated by their partner. Now, this is not ideal. And for most heterosexual couples, this is not ideal. Because by nature's design, if you are more comfortable as a man with penetration, then naturally you lean into more of the masculine core. If a woman feels more naturally inclined to be penetrated and she finds fulfillment in that, then she has a feminine core. So a feminine core and a masculine core have a different set of traits and qualities. So you need to embody that. So this is why women want dominant men. This goes deeper than just you need to be in your masculine for her to feel like she can be in her feminine. These are just abstract and just don't help at all. Your energy as a man has to feel different, energetically different than hers. Because through these opposites, there is attraction that is sparked and there's attraction that's maintained. So sexually, this can go very, very deep. And if you don't believe me when I say that women's sexual desires, when it comes to these dynamics, when it comes to this level of polarity, is much darker than ours. Go read a romantic novel written by a woman. Go revisit that film, 50 Shades of Grey. Read the book. See how descriptive and vivid it gets. You will see the dynamics that I'm talking about. The guy that's physically bigger and stronger than her, more intelligent, more capable, a stronger leader, more dominant than her. These are the dynamics you will see throughout each of these novels. And when you go on blogs, if you still have a hard time grasping this and you want to reframe your ideas around dominance, go on blogs, BDSM blogs specifically. There's one called FetLife, F-E-T life.com. Log in, create a little fun account, and just on a Saturday evening, just scroll through. Read some of the posts and threads written by women by what they want and desire sexually, what their fantasies are. These women are sexually confident, they've owned their desires, and they're sharing it openly. You will be surprised at the things that you'll read in these novels or on these blogs about what women want, what they fantasize about, what brings them a sense of sexual fulfillment. You'll be shocked. But what would also happen is that you'll start to reframe your ideas around dominance and not seeing it from this cultural lens where all forms of dominance are bad. Any type of masculine aggression is bad, is toxic. You'll start to rewire this because that is not entirely true. There is something about this that you can bring into your relationship. You just have to understand how to do it in a constructive and healthy way. But there are healthy and constructive ways to do that, which I'll break down in another video. If you guys want to hear me share and talk about this more, just drop it down in the comments and what specifically you'd want me to talk about when it comes to dominance. But the key here is understanding that she wants you to be dominant because by design, she wants to feel feminine around you. Because if a woman doesn't feel feminine around you, she feels like she has to be in her masculine. What happens is she's also going to begin to domesticate you. She's going to feel like, oh, I can domesticate this man. I can tame him. This is how you get these golden retriever boyfriends and husbands. These are men that have been tamed by their woman. She has completely stripped him of any sense of boldness and aggression and masculinity and raw primal masculine power and domesticated him. He complies, he obeys, he follows her lead. Now, I will break this down in another video about how women domesticate men and why they do it. But to not get in those situations, you have to understand the importance and the value of dominance, being a dominant man. Because if you don't do that, she's still following your lead at all times. So even if you're not taking the lead, even if you're not creating the frame and the structure of the relationship, she's still following. She's still yielding. And what she's going to do is then now she's going to occupy the energy and the role that you're supposed to. That's how you get these mother-son relationships, these owner and pet, this owner and golden retriever relationship. Because you're not stepping up. And so as a woman, she's like water. She's just going to mold to the container you put her in. So if that container is one where you're passive, you're not dominant, you're not taking the lead, you're not stepping up, you're not taking charge, she's going to mold to that. And what that means is she's going to then bring that energy to the relationship because there has to be a balance. There has to be a balance. You both can't be in that energy. Somebody has to fill that space. So I'll break this down in another video around how women domesticate men. and how to prevent it. So with this conversation around how to be more dominant, now let's talk about how to actually do it on a practical level. So there are 4 things you need to get comfortable with. There are 4 things you need to make a daily practice. The first thing is you need to learn how to say no to women. I'll say it again. Learn how to say no to women. No might mean turning down a relationship. No might mean walking away from a relationship. No might be disagreeing with a woman after she tells you an opinion that you do not agree with. No might mean friend zoning a woman that you have no interest in having a intimate relationship with. Just learn and practice saying no to women. This builds confidence over time. Because the thing about dominance is it requires you to feel confident in yourself, to feel secure in yourself as a man. To be able to assert yourself, you have to be okay with rejection. You have to be okay with people not liking you. You have to be okay with criticism. You have to be okay with judgment. You have to feel so fucking comfortable in your skin that you are unapologetically authentic. That's the key component of dominance. That makes it so it's not an act. If it's an act you put on to be more attractive to women, they're going to smell that like a shark smells blood in an open sea. Don't try that approach. What you need to do is build capacity. You need to build confidence. And part of building confidence is doing risky shit, doing things that scare and frighten you. And for a lot of men, saying no to women is the thing that they find most frightening. Especially if, as a man, you were in a relationship with a mother figure that was very dominant, that rarely allowed you to say no, that always put her needs before yours. Saying no to women is probably the hardest thing for you to do. So get comfortable with it. Start saying no to women. Build a confidence around this. What's going to happen is you're going to be able to feel more confident in your skin. You're not going to second guess everything you say. You're going to walk into connections on dates with not constantly scanning through your mind. Does she like me? Does she like me? Is she going to like me? You're going to walk in there with a confidence about yourself, and you're asking the question, am I going to like her? Am I going to be interested in a second date with her? Maybe she'll become my wife. I don't know yet. We'll see how it goes. Let's see if I like what she has to offer me. See if she brings some value to my life. Instead of going in your mind of like, oh my God, I hope she likes me. I hope she texts me back after this date. It's an out-of-body experience. You're not connected to yourself. So learn to say no. The second thing is surround yourself with beautiful women and friend zone them. Surround yourself with beautiful women and friend zone them. Treat beautiful women like another one of the bros, another one of the guys. Because most men, when they get around a beautiful woman, they go deep into their people-pleasing bag. They go deep into trying to get that woman to approve of them, to like them, just so that they can possibly sleep with her or because it looks nice being around her. And beautiful women are so used to this that they can smell it from a mile away. It's inauthentic. You're not being yourself around her. Her beauty leads you to fold immediately. You've lost sight of yourself and you're completely mesmerized and even paralyzed by how beautiful she is. To prevent this from happening, because this happens to so many men that get with a beautiful woman and that beautiful woman is interested in them, she's attentive to them, she's listening to them, and she's showing them some attention. The guy completely misses the fact that this is not compatible. This is not aligned with your values and principles. This is not a genuine connection. You're just physically attracted to her. You can't even get to that stage unless you stop pedestaling beauty. And the way to do that, the way to stop drooling over beautiful women is to be connected to them and then treat them like one of the bros, treat them like one of the guys. Because the thing is, beautiful women are everywhere. Beauty is common. If you travel the world, you'll know this. Beautiful women are everywhere. I've traveled to a lot of countries. I see beautiful women everywhere. It's not rare. What is rare is a beautiful woman with substance. What is rare is a beautiful woman with a vibrant mind. What is rare is a beautiful woman with core values that's family oriented, that has a mission and a purpose that lights you up, that inspires you as a man. That is rare. Until a woman shows you that she has substance, that she has depth, that she has her head on straight, that she has good values, that she can bring some real value to your life, and she stimulates you in ways that are not sexual, in ways that are not physical. She's just a beautiful woman. That's just it. There's nothing about that you need a pedestal. There's nothing about that you need to jump out of your body for. And the only way you can get to that is if you stop pedestaling beauty. You recognize that it's common. And the only way to do that is to build comfort around being around beautiful women, talking to them, treating them like bros, rejecting them, saying hi, no, I don't care about your opinion. The way you would talk to one of the guys. Relate to beautiful women that same way until you build a comfort. And that comfort means that you've been here before. You know how they say, act like you've been here before? That's the energy you need to embody. I've been here before. I've been around beautiful women. This is not going to faze me. I need to see more than beauty to feel like this woman is someone I want to pursue, or someone that I'm interested in, or someone I have a genuine connection with. Start friend zoning all of the beautiful women that you know. Game changer. The third thing is learn how to embody daddy energy. What is daddy energy? When you think about a dad and his daughter, the dad allows his daughter to feel small, precious, that she's in his care, in his keeping, and in his protection. That's what it means to embody daddy energy. Now, this is not exclusive to women with daddy issues. This is not exclusive to relationships where a man is 10 plus years older than the woman that he's with. This is possible with any dynamic if you understand the energetics. What a woman wants to feel when she says, I want you to give off daddy energy, or that guy gives off daddy energy, big daddy energy. What she's saying is that in his presence, she feels small. Small doesn't mean inferior. It means she feels precious. She feels cherished. She feels enveloped. When a man embodies daddy energy, energetically, what's happening is that the woman feels as if she is a hummingbird. Have you ever held a hummingbird in your hands? You try so hard not to move your hands too much to the point where it might fly away, or to the point where you might squeeze it, because it's just that precious and it's just that delicate. The same way you would care for a flower. You wouldn't hold a flower and just start stripping it and hold it tightly by the thorn or by the neck. You care for it. There's a tenderness and a delicacy about the way that you interact with it. Energetically, that's what's happening when you're giving daddy energy. The woman feels enveloped by you. She feels like she's this precious little thing that's in your care now, right? Now there's a way to do this, and it's as simple as the things that you say to her. It's in the communication. So if you're in a dynamic with a woman, let's say you're on a date and she wears a nice dress, and you say, "Oh my God, darling, you look really sweet and beautiful in that dress." The key here is you said darling. You might use sweetheart or baby girl. These are just cues to a woman's mind that, oh my God, he sees me as precious. He sees me as this little thing that's in his care. That's just as simple as in the words you use. Now, you can escalate this to going into sexual dynamics where you're embodying daddy energy. Daddy energy just means you might give her direction. You might tell her what to do. You give her instruction. You don't wait for her to give you instruction. You give her instruction. That can happen in the bedroom. This can be on a date. You can grab her hand as you're leaving out of the restaurant. You can pull her face closer in the middle of a conversation because you're ready to kiss her and you can feel the cues that she also wants to kiss you. You can be down the street and you're walking with her and you place your arm around her and you grab her tight and you embody this energy of this woman's with me. These are all subtle cues to a woman that she now feels enveloped by you. She feels held by you. She feels cherished, special, and precious to you. So there are many ways to do this. You can start with understanding your communication and how to communicate these things verbally, how to communicate them with your body language, and how to communicate them sexually as well. Now, the fourth thing is understanding cues, feminine cues. When a woman is into you, she will always give you cues that she's into you. This is very, very old and primal and primitive at its core. Women used to do this thing called drop the hanky, where she drops a handkerchief and then a man comes by and picks that up and he gives it to her and they start a conversation. This is just one example of a woman giving a man a cue. I'm interested in you. I want you to approach me. I want you to take the lead here. I'm going to see how confident you are. I'm going to see how capable you are. Are you capable of picking that up and initiating a conversation and then taking it from there, taking it a step further? If a woman looks at you from across the room, she holds eye contact with you for 3 seconds. That is a feminine cue to come get me. I'm interested in you. If you don't take that cue, again, she's going to forget that moment entirely and then move on. Because what you're saying to her is that you don't have the confidence to take the lead. This is why women indirectly initiate relationships. Because if they directly initiate the relationship, then she won't know if you're capable of leading. She won't know if you're capable of taking charge of a situation. So they indirectly communicate their desires. And this also protects them from rejection as well. Because let's say she was looking at you for 3 seconds and then you walk up to her and then she's like, oh my God, he's not even that attractive. Or I don't even like his voice, or he smells bad. She can just turn you down right after and be like, no, I wasn't looking at you. I was looking at your friend over there. Or what are you doing? I'm not interested in you. She can reject you because this protects her. This indirect cue protects her from being rejected by you, or the possibility where she doesn't like you. She's like, maybe I'm just ovulating. I don't know what's happening. I don't want to take it any further than just the eye contact. This protects her from that. So you have to be able to read the cues, because if you can read the cues, you can start taking the lead. You can start initiating the pace and the structure and the tone of the relationship, which helps you be more confident, being more dominant, and not looking for her to take the lead. The more comfortable you are doing that, the more confident you'll feel in yourself, in your skin, in your ability to assert yourself, your ability to be unapologetically bold or authentic. Learn how to read the cues. There are a ton of cues women give to men. In a modern day setting, it's as simple as she posts a cute selfie on Instagram, and then you heart that story. And then you tell her how cute she looks. She's already set the trap. You are in her web. But read the cues. Take the lead. She's going to create the setting for you to take the lead always, especially if she's interested in you. What you have to do is take it from there. So these are the 4 things that you need to do and to practice if you want to be that guy, if you want to be more dominant in your relationships. Learn to say no. Friend zone all of the beautiful women you meet and know. Learn how to embody big daddy energy and become an expert at reading body language and feminine cues. So let me know what you think. Does this resonate with your experience? Is there anything here that you need me to break down in another video? Share it down in the comments, and I'll see you guys on the next one.